everyone, it's me, Kiwi, and welcome back to my channel. And I wanted to share with you guys how I did my first commercial with Donald Glover for the Atlanta FX TV show, which was a success. It just ended its first 10 episodes and it was amazing. And I just want to share how I was a part of this amazing project. Also, I wanted to let y'all know that they shot this during one of the biggest games besides the Super Bowl. They shot this during the NBA Finals. Like, they shot the commercial and they aired it during the NBA Finals, which was amazing. Like, that means the whole world, or at least the whole America, saw it at that time. And I couldn't catch it at one point, but I caught it then, of course, because I was watching. I never caught it again. I never caught it before, but that was monumental because not only did my first commercial air on television, but it aired on one of the most watched games in the world at that time during the NBA Finals before LeBron won this year. So that was just epic, and this was just an epic project for me to be a part of. So thank you, FX, for picking me and making my promo commercial, because they shot 6, but my promo commercial was aired during the end. Okay, so it was a commercial. I was not on the show, and I do have to clarify that because during the season, a lot of people kept asking me, was I going to be on the show or was I part of this show? No, I was just a part of the commercial promo for it, which was cool. The promos were really brilliant. Like, if you look back on some of the promo, they weren't regular commercials. They were works of art to me, and I was a part of one of the little works of art. So very exciting, and I just want to share with you guys how I got to be a part of it. So every now and then I do some background work. I'm not trying to be in the industry like that. I'm not trying to be an actress or anything. But I do from time to time. I love doing background work, just being on different sets and, you know, being a part of some of my favorite shows and getting paid for it, of course. And I haven't done it in a while. Honestly, I've been too busy to do it, and it doesn't pay that well. Everybody knows that if you're an extra, it doesn't pay that well. So you cannot be an extra full-time. I mean, you could, but I mean, it was not for me like that. It's just for fun. I always did it for fun. I never try to do it so I can break into the industry, and I never try to do it to make it a job. But again, I answered one back in May, and the reason why I answered it because they kind of quadrupled the amount of money that a normal extra gig would be. And I was just like, heck yeah, I'll do it, because it sounded so simple. They were looking for a waving girl. That's all they were looking for. And I'm like, well, I can wave for this amount of money. That's all. Look, I can wave. Hey guys. Like, literally, I was just like, that's what y'all. And usually when you do extra work, you're on set for a minimum of 8 hours. Sometimes it can be more, and if it's more, they give you overtime. But this one was asking for, like, I don't know, it was something crazy, like 5 hours or something like that, and they were still quadrupling the amount. And I was just like, shoot, I'll do it. And then I guess they did it on Mother's Day, and sorry mom, but I was just like, you know what, Mother's Day is every day. I'm about to make this money. And I don't know, I just wanted to sign up and do it, and they did select me. I actually did try to forward this to some of my friends, because that's the kind of person I am. I forwarded the opportunity because in my mind I thought they needed multiple people for this role. Like, maybe they needed multiple hand wavers, and I do that. Once I know that people are trying to do extra and background work, I usually try to share because I'm not a stingy person. But anyways, I did get selected, and I didn't mind working on Mother's Day, and that's what we did. But I want to tell you something interesting. So again, I did not know if it was for a movie or a TV show. I had no idea at the time this was for the TV show Atlanta. Of course, at the time, there was little buzz about the Atlanta TV show. There was very little promo because, of course, I was about to be filming for it, but I had no idea that's what I was doing. But the interesting thing was they kept calling me. And when you sign up to be an extra, they usually just email you once. They rarely call you if you get accepted, unless they need to ask you some questions or something. But other than that, they send you an email saying you have been selected for the gig and come here, and this is the time slots, sometimes what to wear, blah blah blah. they did already send me the email. They did already tell me what I would be wearing and you know, all that good stuff. So they called me the night before the actual filming, and they called me twice, which I thought was really interesting. And they were very enthusiastic when they called me. They was like, yeah, we really want to see you on set tomorrow. We just want to make sure you're coming. I was like, of course I am. And they asked me twice. Which I thought was interesting, because they usually, if they call you, they only call you once, but they called me twice. I remember that they called me twice, which was cool. No big deal. I just thought that, hey, they're just very enthusiastic about having their extras on set tomorrow, and they're giving me some extra special attention for whatever reason. Who knows, but I made sure to let them know I was coming. They even called me while I was on my way to set, which I thought, again, was interesting. They usually don't call you. They just, okay, if you show up, you show up. If you don't, and you miss the opportunity, they'll just blacklist you from the industry. No big deal. You'll just be blacklisted off their list. But anyways, yeah, I guess this was that important. They wanted to make sure I was really coming. So, and I did. I was there, and I was there on time, and all worked out. The only interesting part is when I got on set, had no clue still what I was doing. They was being very coy, very vague, just no information. And another thing that was interesting, it was only like 10 or 12 of us on set, which was very odd. I mean, I've been on small sets before, but again, had no idea if this was for a movie or a TV show, and no one else knew what we were doing either. We were all in the dark. The only way I found out what show that we were on the show Atlanta and doing the promo commercial was the guy that did the stand-in for Donald Glover. My friend who was the stand-in, he saw me on set. We've done some extra work together in the past. He's a really great guy. He was stand-in for Donald, and he was just like, you don't know what you're on the set for? And I'm like, no. He was like, you're doing the Atlanta promo commercials. We're shooting 6 of them today, and you're gonna be a part of that. And I'm like, in a commercial? We're doing a commercial. So I was like excited, but I was just like, why can't they just tell us that? But anyways, I was excited nonetheless. It was still very coy because it was a lot of stuff. When you're on set, guys, here's another thing. If y'all are interested in set life and extra work, I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's not hard work at all, but it's a lot of waiting around and not knowing what you're doing for a long time. So with that, it was a lot of me standing around doing a bunch of nothingness. But it was cool. It was time for me to shoot for the commercial, and I'm going to show you right here the actual part that I shot for. When I shot that, as you can see, it went in reverse, right? It went in reverse, and it was just really interesting how, you know, they did that. When they put me, and I realized I was walking with Donald, because I didn't know. Like, again, I didn't know I was gonna, what that was considered. I was considered a feature role character, and that's why I paid a little bit more, because I was going to be a featured role character, especially for a commercial. So that's why I paid a little bit more than a normal background. But I was working with the lead character, which I do know Donald Glover. I don't know him from his TV show, I think 30 Rock and Community. I didn't watch those shows, but I do know him as Childish Gambino, and we grew up in the same neighborhood, the same area, not the same neighborhood, the same area, which is called Stone Mountain. He even had a mixtape called Stone Mountain, so shout out to Donald Glover for shouting out Stone Mountain and just repping us hard. But you know, I realized that I was going to be doing my role alongside with Donald by passing the flyer, and I actually still have the flyer. The flyer has Paperboy on it, right? Because on the show, Paperboy is a rapper, a neighborhood rapper, and this is supposed to be his flyer. So shout out to FX for keeping it all the way real, because when I got this flyer, I was like, what is this? Did they just make this? Again, mind you, I had no idea what this show was about. Nothing. When I kept this flyer from the commercial. Mind you, I have not watched the show, did not even know I was going to be on the show. Didn't even know why I was passing a flyer to him. I didn't understand the concept. Clearly, I put 2 and 2 together that, okay, he's being a flyer boy. He's being the marketing street, guerrilla marketing person, and putting flyers on cars, and I was the girl to catch the flyer. Makes sense, right? So when I got this, I just kept it as a memento, because I just wanted to keep things. I'm very sentimental like this, but now it makes sense since I watched the show. And if you watch the show, now it makes sense. They made it very realistic, like he's going to be performing at this club and all that. So very, very realistic. So shout out to FX for this. I kept it. But anyways, if you notice in the commercial that we are walking, well, I'm walking backwards and he's the only one walking forward, right? I have a secret to tell you guys. Donald Glover was the only one walking backwards in that shot. It looks like we were all walking backwards, but the truth was he was the only one walking backwards and I was walking forward, and so was everybody else. If you saw it in the commercial, they were all walking forward as well. So how did they do that? Easier said than done. Easier said. They just put the film in reverse, but key point is Donald Glover was walking backwards, so that means he had to walk backwards to me when I passed him the flyer. And that's another question: who caught the flyer, who got the flyer? Now when you're going in reverse, it looks like that, you know, I'm getting the flyer from him, but in real life I had to pass him this, you know, I had to pass this to him, because then when he put it in reverse, it does look like he's giving me the flyer. So I hope that makes sense. So while I was doing the promo, it was a lot of takes. Now that wasn't a one shot and done thing, because it was so confusing. I didn't know where to meet him. It was so weird at first, but we caught it, because mind you, he's the actor, I'm just the featured girl, and that, you know, we didn't practice or nothing. It was right there. We was practicing right there. So it took us like maybe 10 or 12 shots to get that right, or even more. It was like we did it a couple times, you know, to get the right shot, but I got it after a while. It wasn't that hard. We just had to meet each other at a certain point, and I had to go like this. So that's where the waving comes from, right? Like, this is a form of waving, right? I don't know. So that's where the waving girl, and I was like, oh, so that's where I'm thinking it's the traditional wave. No, I'm passing him a flyer wave, I guess. But anyways, it was a really great experience. Donald was very nice. Like, even after I got it down a couple times, he was just like, you're doing such a good job. I was like, thank you. But I do want to say that I applaud you, Donald, if you're watching this. We grew up in the same neighborhood, so this means the world to me. And I keep saying neighborhood, I mean we grew up in the same city of Stone Mountain. I went to school with your sister. You probably also didn't know that. I would shout her out, but maybe she doesn't want her name out there. But yes, hey, if you're watching this, we grew up together. Like, I really used to be friends with his sister in middle and in high school. I think we went to the same elementary school. I can't remember. I think so. We did. But that's what I'm saying. We grew up in the same area. So from somebody from Stone Mountain, also we grew up with the swag surf. Stone Mountain came up with swag surf, guys. So, you know. Stone Mountain actually is really lit. Y'all don't sleep on us. But yeah, it was just amazing to be a part of that, and just in the weird word of synchronicity that I got to be a part of his vision of his promo, and we grew up in the same city. You know what I'm saying? This is monumental. The show was very monumental if you watched it. I'm not just saying this because I was a part of it, but reality, the show Atlanta is great. Like, it's nothing like this on TV ever. Nothing. And like I said, again, I live in Atlanta, and Atlanta's becoming this place of Hollywood dreams, and everybody's trying to be something. You know, it's becoming a weird place, but the real essence of Atlanta, I think, is starting to lose it a little bit. And I think Donald took the vision of Atlanta, and he wanted to make it the real Atlanta, if that makes any sense. So if you watch the show, you'll see some little things that you'll be like, you know, only people who are really from Atlanta would understand. Not if you're a transplant. You have to really be from Atlanta to understand a lot of the show, you know. And it's cool because it brings it gives Atlanta a culture, and it also brings up topics of what a young black person goes through in America, not just in Atlanta but in America. So this is not a show where it's to me it's an all black cast for the most part, but I feel like any background can watch this show and really look into the eyes of someone who is young and black trying to make it, and how they really live. It's not what you typically think. There are some stereotypical things in there, but it's a show of satire as well, and it's a way to kind of open your mind and go, you know what, I can either look at it this way, or I can look at it right here and it's in my face and I have to realize it's trying to tell me a message. So that's what I love about this show. I love that I was a part of it, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I've always wanted to be in a commercial, and maybe next season, because there is going to be a second season for sure. The ratings were through the roof. It was a very well show. The ratings were amazing, and people were still buzzing about it. I was just grateful to be a part of it. A lot of people just kept asking me over and over, like, how did I get to be a part of the show? How did I get to be this? And how did you walk backwards? And oh my God, you got to work with a god. Like, people are really fans of Donald Glover, so don't get it twisted. And Childish Gambino, people love this dude, you know? And it kind of weirded me out, because when the promos start coming out, random people kept saying, you're amazing for getting to work with him. Oh my God, like fangirling me. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I just answered a casting call. I had no idea. But it's just, you know, they trusted Donald with this vision, and it was very well executed. And I'm just very grateful that I was a part of this, you know. Very grateful, and I'm just so happy that the show was very highly received through all demographics, all races, all genders. It's just a great show, and if you haven't watched it, I'm not trying to do a promo. I'm not sponsored to say this. I'm just being genuine. It's a really good show. If you haven't watched it, catch up. Watch it on your demand. Watch it online. It's just a great show, and just, you know, again, I was a part of it, and I just want to share that with you guys. So thank y'all for watching, and again, watch Atlanta when you can, and stay tuned for season 2. Okay.